everyone and welcome back to SP Learning Labs. Today we are going to learn about metaprogramming and dynamic architecture. In the previous video, we focused on design patterns and how they help software survive growth. We talked about structure, reuse and clean communication between components. In this video, we move into something more powerful and also more dangerous, metaprogramming. Metaprogramming is one of the reasons Python feels flexible and expressive. It allows programs to inspect, modify, and even generate code at runtime. Many large frameworks rely on these ideas, even if we don't see them directly. The goal of this video is not to make you write clever code. The goal is to help you understand what is happening behind the scenes in large Python systems. For example, imagine a chef who does not just follow a recipe, but changes the recipe while cooking based on taste, ingredients, and feedback. This is what metaprogramming feels like in Python. It gives you enormous power. But if you are not careful, it can also make the system very hard to understand. What is metaprogramming? Metaprogramming means writing code that works with other code in Python. Functions are objects. Classes are objects. Modules are objects. Because of this, Python programs can inspect, modify, and generate code dynamically. This is not something you use every day. But when you need flexibility at scale, metaprogramming becomes extremely valuable. Python code as data. One key idea to understand is this. Python treats a code as data. This means you can pass functions as arguments. You can store classes in variables. You can create new classes at runtime. This is why Python supports highly dynamic systems. Reflection, inspecting objects at runtime. Reflection means looking inside objects while the program is running. Python provides built-in tools like dir to see attributes, getattr to access attributes dynamically, has attr to check if something exists. Reflection is heavily used in ORMs, web frameworks, serialization libraries. For example, an ORM looks at a class and discovers fields automatically instead of requiring manual mapping. Reflection allows frameworks to adapt to use user code without hard coding logic. For example, imagine a web framework that needs to find all routes, detect which function handle requests, automatically register them. Instead of asking the developer to list everything manually, the framework inspects the code and builds behavior dynamically. This reduces boilerplate but increases internal complexity. Dynamic code generation. Python can generate code at runtime. This is commonly done using type to create classes dynamically, exac to execute dynamically created code, eval to evaluate expressions. This is powerful but dangerous. Dynamic code. This dynamic code generation is used in ORMs, generating models from schemas, API clients, code scaffolding tools. However, misuse can lead to security vulnerabilities, debugging nightmares, unreadable systems, security and maintainability warning. Using exec and eval blindly is risky. They execute code dynamically, which means bugs are harder to trace, errors appear at runtime, security risks increase if input is not controlled. In large systems, these tools should be isolated and carefully reviewed. Decorators as metaprogramming. Decorators are one of the safest and most practical forms of metaprogramming. They allow you to wrap behavior, add logic before and after execution, keep core logic clean. Decorators are widely used for logging, validation, authorization, caching. The key benefit is separation of concerns. The function focuses on its job. The decorator handles cross-cutting concerns. Metaclasses, controlling class creation. Metaclasses control how classes are created. When Python sees a class definition, it actually calls a metaclass to create that class. This allows frameworks to modify classes at creation time, inject behavior, enforce rules automatically. Metaclasses are used in ORMs, framework, internals, advanced validation systems. Why metaclasses are rare? Metaclasses are powerful but dangerous. They make code harder to read, harder to debug, harder to explain to new developers. This is why most developers never write metaclasses directly. Frameworks use them so application developers don't have to. When to use metaprogramming? Metaprogramming should be used when the alternative is massive duplication, behavior must adapt dynamically, framework level flexibility is required. It should not be used to show cleverness, avoid writing simple code, replace clear logic. A common mistake is overusing metaprogramming. Developers sometimes reach for metaclasses when simple functions would work, composition would be clear, configuration would be safer. Another mistake is mixing too many dynamic behaviors, making system unpredictable. Never mention facts. Most production bugs in metaprogramming system come from poor documentation, hidden behavior, unexpected side effects. The most successful frameworks hide metaprogramming, complexity behind simple APIs. Few interview questions. What is metaprogramming? Writing code that inspects or modifies other code. Why are metaclasses that dangerous? They make code harder to understand and also debug. Do most developers need to write metaclasses? No. You now understand how Python supports dynamic behavior at runtime and why frameworks rely on metaprogramming. In the next video, we'll bring everything together. We will talk about plugin systems, modular architecture, microservices, and real-world scalability trade-offs. That's it for today's session. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to SP Learning Labs.